Welcome to Wrestling Forever, where we honor the legends who paved the way and left an everlasting impact on the wrestling world. Their stories continue to inspire, reminding us of their passion and dedication. Today, we also bring you heartfelt news about Randy Orton, whose recent situation has deeply moved the wrestling community. Join us as we celebrate their legacies with powerful tributes and cherished memories. Subscribe to keep their spirit alive for future generations. Jay Briscoe, born Jamin J. Pugh on January 25, 1984, in the tight-knit farming community of Sandy Fork, Delaware, was a towering figure in professional wrestling, best known for his iconic work with Ring of Honor, ROH. Alongside his younger brother, Mark Briscoe, Jay formed the Briscoe Brothers, a tag team that became the beating heart of ROH. With their unbreakable bond, gritty personas, and fearless in-ring style, the Briscoes quickly ascended from regional independence to international acclaim, debuting for ROH in 2002 and never looking back. Known for their relentless, hard-hitting matches and unmatched chemistry, the Briscoe brothers dominated the tag team scene. They captured a record number of ROH World Tag Team Championships, carving their names into the very foundation of the promotion. Jay, however, was not just a master of tag team wrestling. As a singles competitor, he proved equally formidable, winning the Ring of Honor World Championship twice, his first reign beginning in 2013, and showcasing a raw, emotional fighting style that endeared him to fans. Jay's in-ring identity was a thrilling mix of Southern brawler toughness, technical finesse, and daredevil aerial moves. His promos dripped with authenticity, reflecting a man who wrestled not just with his body, but with his soul. Fiercely loyal to ROH, Jay remained its anchor through eras of change, embodying the spirit of independent wrestling. Off the mat, Jay was a loving husband and proud father, cherishing time spent with his family on their rural Delaware homestead. His life was rooted in faith, family, and community values. Tragically, on January 17, 2023, Jay Briscoe lost his life in a car accident caused by a head-on collision with another vehicle. He was just 38 years old. His passing sent shockwaves through the wrestling world, but Jay's legacy of passion, grit, and excellence continues to inspire generations of wrestlers and fans alike. Jeff Gaylord, born on October 15, 1958, in Columbus, Ohio, was an American professional wrestler who built a steady career throughout the late 1980s and 1990s. Known for his powerful build and rugged persona, Gaylord found success in various North American regional and independent promotions. He is best remembered for his work with Bill Watts' Universal Wrestling Federation, UWF, World Class Championship Wrestling, WCW, and the United States Wrestling Association, USWA, where he made a notable impact. He often teamed with rising stars like Jeff Jarrett, forming alliances that helped elevate his visibility in the wrestling world. Gaylord made his professional wrestling debut in 1985 and quickly became a familiar name across the Mid-South territories. He competed against notable opponents such as Timothy Flowers and Tarzan Goto, demonstrating a strong, brawling style that fit well with the territory's gritty atmosphere. He was also a member of Psycho Sid Vicious faction, the Psychos, further cementing his reputation as a reliable enforcer-type character. Later in his career, Gaylord adopted the ring name Akeem Hussein during his time in the USWA's version of the Nation of Domination, showcasing his ability to adapt to evolving storylines and personas. In 1993, Gaylord made a brief but memorable appearance in the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, as the Black Knight, participating in the Survivor Series pay-per-view event. Though his stint in WWF was short, it added a national highlight to his mostly regional career. Jeff Gaylord, at the age of 64. His cause was reported as complications from congestive heart failure. Despite never becoming a mainstream superstar, Gaylord's career remains respected among fans of 1980s and 1990s, wrestling for his toughness, adaptability, and consistent presence in the independent circuit. Adrian Adonis, born Keith Franker on September 15, 1954, in Buffalo, New York, was an American professional wrestler renowned for both his athletic skill and his bold, unforgettable character work. Adonis entered the wrestling world in the mid-1970s, first carving out a niche with a rugged, biker-inspired persona. Clad in leather jackets and exuding a rebellious, tough guy attitude, he found early success in the American Wrestling Association, AWA, and soon made waves in the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, now WWE. By the mid-1980s, Adonis made a daring transformation that would define his career. Abandoning the traditional tough guy image, he introduced the adorable Adrian Adonis character, a flamboyant, provocative figure with bleached blonde hair, colourful outfits, and exaggerated mannerisms. At a time when professional wrestling largely adhered to rigid masculine stereotypes, Adonis's character was groundbreaking, drawing both controversy and fascination. His role as a heel, villain, stirred strong reactions from audiences, fueling some of the era's most memorable feuds. His bitter rivalry with rowdy Roddy Piper, particularly their confrontations on Piper's Pit, culminated in a dramatic hair vs. hair match at WrestleMania 3 in 1987, further cementing his place in wrestling history. Tragically, Adrian Adonis's life came to an abrupt and heartbreaking end on July 4, 1988. While travelling in Lewisport, Newfoundland, Adonis was involved in a fatal car accident when the vehicle he was riding in swerved to avoid a moose and plunged into a creek. Adonis, along with several others, lost his life at just 33 years old. The news of his sudden passing sent shockwaves through the wrestling community, cutting short the career of a man who had not only entertained millions, but had also challenged conventions within the industry. Today, Adrian Adonis is remembered for his fearless character work, in-ring talent, and his lasting influence on professional wrestling. Dick Murdoch was one of those larger-than-life personalities who made a lasting mark on professional wrestling. Born on August 16, 1946, in Waxahachie, Texas, Murdoch grew up with the rough-and-tumble spirit of a true Texan. From an early age, he developed a deep passion for wrestling, and by the 1960s, he had officially stepped into the professional ring, ready to take on the world. Known for his rugged charm, witty promos, and tough-as-nails fighting style, Murdoch quickly earned a reputation as one of the most charismatic and reliable performers of his generation. Over a career that spanned several decades, Murdoch wrestled in some of the biggest promotions in the country, including the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, and the World Wrestling Federation, WWF. He was equally successful as a single star and a tag team specialist, often pairing with major names like Dusty Rhodes and Adrian Adonis. His fierce rivalries with legends like Ric Flair and Terry Funk were must-see battles that helped define the golden era of territorial wrestling. Tag team wrestling was where Murdoch really shined. He became a multiple-time tag team champion, showcasing an incredible ability to build chemistry with partners and work a crowd like few others could. His interviews were a mix of humour, bravado, and unpredictable energy, making him a favourite among fans no matter where he performed. Tragically, Dick Murdoch's life ended far too. While attending a friend's rodeo event in Texas, Murdoch suffered a fatal heart attack. It was later noted that he had underlying cardiovascular issues that contributed to his sudden. Though he passed away at just 49 years old, Murdoch's larger-than-life persona, memorable matches, and contributions to wrestling are still fondly remembered by fans and fellow wrestlers alike. Butch Reed, born on July 11, 1954, in Kansas City, Missouri, was a celebrated professional wrestler whose strength, charisma, and athletic prowess made him a standout star throughout the 1980s and early 1990s. Known for his powerful build and explosive style, Reed carved out a memorable career in top promotions like the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, World Wrestling Federation, WWF, and later World Championship Wrestling, WCW. Reed first made waves, wrestling under the moniker The Natural Butch Reed, a name that highlighted his impressive physique and natural athleticism. Early in his career, he feuded with some of the biggest names in wrestling and quickly became known for his intense, hard-hitting performances. One of the major highlights of Reed's career was his tag team partnership with Ron Simmons, forming the dominant Team Doom in WCW. Together, Reed and Simmons captured the WCW World Tag Team Championship, leaving an indelible mark as one of the toughest and most respected tag teams of their era. In 1988, Reed made history by participating in WrestleMania 4, further cementing his status as a major figure in the wrestling world. Whether as a singles competitor or part of a team, Reed's ability to connect with fans and deliver electrifying performances earned him admiration from both audiences and fellow wrestlers. Following his retirement from active competition, Reed continued to contribute to the wrestling industry, working as a mentor and trainer for up-and-coming talent. Sadly, Butch Reed, the age of 66, his was caused by complications following 2 heart attacks he suffered earlier that year, compounded by a COVID-19 diagnosis. Reed's legacy as a trailblazer and powerhouse in professional wrestling lives on, remembered fondly by generations of fans and performers alike. Big John Studd, born John William Minton on February 19, 1948, was a towering and unforgettable figure in professional wrestling, celebrated for his commanding size, powerful in-ring style, and magnetic presence. Standing at an imposing 6 feet 10 inches and weighing well over 360 pounds, Studd became a dominant force in the wrestling world throughout the late 1970s and 1980s. His career spanned several major promotions, most notably the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, and World Championship Wrestling, WCW, where he left a lasting impression on fans and fellow wrestlers alike. One of Studd's most iconic storylines was his intense rivalry with Hulk Hogan, a feud that helped define the early WrestleMania era. Their clash peaked at WrestleMania 1 in 1985 during the highly publicized Body Slam Challenge, in which Studd offered $15,000 to anyone who could successfully slam him to the mat. This match not only highlighted Studd's remarkable persona, but also helped solidify WrestleMania's place as a premier event in sports entertainment. Throughout his career, Studd also found success as a tag team competitor, notably winning the WWF World Tag Team Championship with partners like Killer Kowalski, and developing alliances with managers such as Classy, Freddie Blassie, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Although he portrayed a villainous heel for much of his career, many fans admired his larger-than-life character and contributions to the growth of professional wrestling. After initially retiring in the late 1980s, Studd briefly returned to wrestling before stepping away permanently. Sadly, in the early 1990s, he was diagnosed with liver cancer and Hodgkin's disease, a form of lymphoma. Despite undergoing treatment, complications from his illnesses led to his at the age of 47. Big John Studd's legacy endures, inspiring generations of big men in wrestling and cementing his place as a true pioneer of the sport. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, born February 8, 1955, in Tampa, Florida, was a towering figure in professional wrestling, revered for his formidable strength, infectious charisma, and pivotal role within the legendary Hart Foundation. Making his World Wrestling Federation WWF debut in the early 1980s, Neidhart quickly rose to prominence with his unmistakable goatee, intimidating physique, and unyielding, tough guy persona. As one half of the Hart Foundation, alongside his brother-in-law Bret, the Hitman Hart, Neidhart helped redefine tag team wrestling. Their unique combination of Bret's technical finesse and Neidhart's explosive power led them to multiple WWF Tag Team Championships and etched their names into wrestling history. While Neidhart enjoyed considerable success inside the ring, his life beyond the spotlight was fraught with challenges. The physical demands of professional wrestling took a relentless toll on his body, resulting in chronic injuries, particularly to his back and knees. Like many of his contemporaries, Neidhart also battled issues with substance abuse, a struggle often exacerbated by the intense physical and mental strain endemic to the industry. Nevertheless, his enduring passion for wrestling kept him connected to the sport long after his WWF tenure, as he made sporadic appearances in various promotions and mentored younger talents. Tragedy struck on August 13, 2018, when Jim Neidhart passed away at the age of 63. According to reports, Neidhart suffered a seizure, believed to be linked to complications from Alzheimer's disease, which caused him to fall at his home in Wesley Chapel, Florida. The resulting head injury led to a fatal brain hemorrhage. His sudden passing was deeply mourned, particularly by his daughter, WWE superstar Natalya, and the broader wrestling community. Jim Neidhart's legacy remains vibrant, celebrated for his immense contributions to tag team wrestling and the larger-than-life spirit he brought to every performance. Randy Orton is one of the most celebrated, accomplished, and recognizable figures in WWE history. With a career spanning over 2 decades, countless championships, and an unmistakable legacy, Orton has cemented himself as one of the all-time greats. However, beneath the glory, titles, and iconic RKO moments lies a story often overshadowed by his success: a relentless battle with injuries. Throughout his journey, Orton has faced immense physical hardships that would have ended the careers of lesser athletes. His intense in-ring style, grueling schedule, and unwavering commitment to his craft have taken a profound toll on his body. From recurring shoulder dislocations to a devastating spinal injury, Orton's path has been paved with resilience and determination. This article delves deep into Randy Orton's most significant injuries, his tireless road to recovery, and the ongoing rumors surrounding his health and future, the physical price of greatness. Since his debut in WWE in 2002, Randy Orton has exemplified the perfect blend of technical precision, athleticism, and brute force inside the ring. As a third-generation superstar, he carried the weight of immense expectations. Yet, he didn't just live up to the family name. He elevated it, crafting a style that was uniquely his own. However, success in professional wrestling often comes at a physical cost. The very elements that made Orton a standout performer, the explosive RKOs, the punishing backbreakers, the unforgiving pace, also exposed him to repeated injuries over the years. Wrestling is as much about enduring pain as it is about delivering it, and Orton's body has borne the brunt of 2 decades under the bright lights. Recurring shoulder issues, a career-long struggle. Perhaps the most persistent and career-threatening injuries Randy Orton has battled involve his shoulders. Shoulder injuries are particularly problematic in wrestling, given the constant need for explosive upper body movements, grapples, and falls. Orton's shoulder troubles began almost immediately. In 2002, during his first year on the WWE main roster, Orton suffered a major shoulder injury that forced him to the sidelines for several months. The damage was severe enough that WWE aired a series of Randy News Network, RNN, segments, updating fans on his recovery, a testament to how integral he was even early in his career. Unfortunately, this injury wasn't an isolated incident. Orton's hypermobile shoulders made him unusually prone to dislocations, a medical reality that haunted him for much of his career. In 2010, during his match against Edge at Over the Limit, Orton suffered another painful dislocation after a seemingly simple maneuver. Cameras caught the agony etched across his face as medical personnel rushed to assist him. Doctors, recognizing the chronic instability in his joints, recommended surgical intervention. While Orton eventually underwent procedures to stabilize his shoulders, the repairs were never permanent. The threat of re-injury loomed over every match, every RKO, and every slam. In 2015, after another serious dislocation, Orton required yet another shoulder surgery, leading to a significant absence from WWE programming. At one point, medical experts even advised him to consider retirement, fearing that continued wrestling could cause irreversible damage. True to his warrior spirit, Orton refused to quit. He dedicated himself to a grueling rehabilitation process, emerging once again to reclaim his spot at the top of WWE. Set the back, troubles, and the career-threatening injury of 2022. As if chronic shoulder issues weren't enough, Randy Orton's lower back would eventually emerge as his most serious health concern. Over years of punishing matches, constant travel, and wear and tear, Orton began experiencing escalating back pain. While he managed it for a time through therapy and modified training, the situation reached a critical point in 2022. During a lengthy run as part of the beloved tag team RK Bro alongside Matt Riddle, Orton's back problems intensified. It culminated in what was later revealed to be a significant spinal injury, specifically cervical cord neuropraxia. This condition, affecting the spinal cord, can lead to numbness, muscle weakness, and chronic pain. For anyone, it's debilitating. For a professional wrestler, it's potentially career-ending. Recognizing the severity of the issue, Orton underwent spinal fusion surgery later that year. Spinal fusion is a complex and risky procedure, where two or more vertebrae are permanently joined to eliminate motion between them. While it provides stability and reduces pain, it often limits flexibility, a key asset for any athlete, especially a wrestler known for explosive moves like the RKO. The surgery necessitated a long and cautious recovery process. WWE's medical team, aware of the risks, took a conservative approach, keeping Orton away from in-ring action to ensure his health and safety. Rehabilitation involved intense physical therapy sessions aimed at restoring strength, flexibility, and nerve function. For Orton, every small gain was a hard-earned victory. With a swirl of rumours, retirement fears, and health speculation, given the seriousness of Orton's spinal injury, rumours about his future quickly spread. In 2023, various reports suggested that WWE officials had internally discussed the possibility that Orton might never be medically cleared to wrestle again. Whispers grew louder with each passing month he remained absent from television. Adding fuel to the fire were claims that Orton had suffered nerve damage so severe that returning to action could risk paralysis. Fans, fearing the worst, speculated endlessly online. Was this truly the end of the Viper's illustrious career? However, credible sources close to Orton painted a more optimistic, if cautious, picture. His father, WWE Hall of Famer Bob Orton Jr., revealed in interviews that, while the injury was serious, Randy had not given up hope. In fact, he had been working diligently with medical professionals and personal trainers to strengthen his body for a potential return. It's important to recognize that WWE has one of the most stringent medical clearance protocols in professional sports. Superstars like Edge and Daniel Bryan both once deemed medically retired due to spinal injuries, were only allowed back after receiving overwhelming medical consensus that they were safe to compete. Orton's situation, while serious, was being treated with the same diligence and care. As for the nerve damage rumours, no official confirmation ever emerged. While cervical injuries inherently involve nerve risks, the suggestion that Orton was one wrong move away from paralysis seemed exaggerated. The WWE medical team, with their commitment to safety, would never allow him back into the ring without absolute confidence in his health. Signs of hope. The road to a potential return. Throughout 2023 and early 2024, hopeful signs began to emerge. Orton was spotted at the WWE Performance Center several times, reportedly participating in light training sessions. Photos circulated of Orton looking physically impressive, with fans noting he appeared in fighting shape. While WWE has remained tight-lipped regarding an official return date, insiders suggest that Orton's recovery has been remarkable. Those close to him describe his approach as methodical and determined, focused not just on returning to action, but returning safely. Should Orton make a comeback, WWE would likely implement significant precautions. A reduced schedule, similar to that of other veterans like Brock Lesnar, could minimize physical strain. His matches might be structured to limit high-impact bumps, preserving his health while still allowing him to entertain millions. Moreover, Orton's in-ring style, already methodical and psychology-driven, lends itself well to adaptation. Even without the same explosiveness, the Viper's storytelling ability, charisma, and strategic mastery could ensure a compelling second chapter to his career. Legacy sealed no matter what the future holds. Regardless of whether Randy Orton ever wrestles another match, his legacy in WWE is already carved in stone. A 14-time world champion, the youngest world heavyweight champion in WWE history, the man behind countless unforgettable RKOs, Orton's contributions to professional wrestling are immense. He bridged generations, evolving from the cocky legend killer to the cold, calculating apex predator to the beloved veteran teaming with younger stars. His rivalries with the likes of John Cena, Triple H, The Undertaker, and Bray Wyatt have become part of WWE lore. Few wrestlers have managed to reinvent themselves across multiple eras, while maintaining their credibility and relevance the way Orton has. But beyond titles and accolades, it's Randy Orton's resilience that defines him. He has faced immense physical pain, career-threatening injuries, personal struggles, and shifting industry landscapes. Yet, he has endured. His passion for the business has never wavered, even when his body demanded otherwise. Conclusion: the Viper's spirit is unbreakable. Time and injuries may have slowed Randy Orton down, but they have not broken him. His journey is a testament to perseverance, toughness, and an unrelenting love for professional wrestling. Whether he returns to the ring or decides to close this chapter of his life, Orton's spirit remains unbreakable. He has inspired countless fans and fellow wrestlers with his dedication and heart. If there's one thing Randy Orton has proven over and over again, it's that you should never count out the Viper. For now, fans continue to wait, hope, and cheer for a man whose legacy transcends wins and losses. Injury or no injury, Randy Orton will forever be remembered as one of the greatest, most resilient performers to ever grace the squared circle.